As we come to examine bunker play technique, we're going to draw on the skills that we accrued from chipping and from pitching, and they're going to combine. Now, one of the things about bunker play is we get so much advice: dig your feet in, sit down, open your stance, open the blade, break your wrists early. You know, there's a myriad of advice, and people get into very, very contrived positions and get a bit of a mess. So my job is to simplify it for you. Now, we spent most of this DVD getting you to contact the ball sweetly and precisely. Wouldn't you just know it? We come into a bunker and we don't hit the ball anymore, we hit the sand about an inch behind the ball. So the primary task or skill of bunker play is to hit the sand at essentially an inch and a half behind the ball. So I just draw a line in with my club, with my alignment stick. So there's the alignment stick just behind the ball. And I would recommend that you just pick a distance behind the ball that you're comfortable with. It could be an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, but standardise it. Don't vary the amount of sand that you take. Keep the sand the same. So let's just find out what 56 degrees of loft in a sand iron can produce hitting the ball an inch behind. So nothing fancy. I'm going to go straight in with my square technique, everything parallel, and I'm going to have the line, not the ball, between my feet. Now, just for teaching purposes and practice purposes, we're going to ground the club. You know you can't do it on a golf course, it's a penalty. But when we're practicing, it's good to let the club rest on the line they're going to hit. So now I'm going to go straight back and straight through, simple chipping action through the line. And if that's the worst bunker shot you hit, it won't be too bad. Now, 56 degrees of loft, a straightforward stroke. If we examine my impact, I was actually a couple of inches behind the line. I wasn't bang on, but it was sufficiently close to get the ball up and out with some spin. We're trying to get a consistent amount of sand in the sense that if you're always an inch behind the ball, an inch and a half, that's when you get the most spin when the ball lands. So that was pretty simple. Let me just do another one for you. So I'll draw another fresh line in the sand. I'll put the ball an inch and a half. The line is between my feet, not the ball. The line and the leading edge of my club. So here we go. I'm going to go back and through. Simple chipping mechanism through the line. I set that on a bit too far, but it was loaded with spin and it stopped quite quickly. And if we look down at the sand, we can see that I was probably a fraction close to the ball as I hit it. So that's the first thing I'm going to practice, precisely hitting the line. What you could do is draw quite a big line in the sand and just practice hitting it. Just see if you can get the leading edge onto that line. That's the first skill of bunker play. Okay. Now, we hear the word bounce a lot. And bounce comes from the sole plate. Gene Sarazen invented the sand iron back in the 1920s and put a broad sole. So the leading edge goes in the sand and there's a hydroplane effect and the club comes back up out of the sand for you. So we've already discovered the benefits of a 56-degree wedge already. So, fresh line. Now, if I want the ball to go further, I can add in a bit of wrist hinge. So a minute ago I was chipping out of the bunker. I'm now going to pitch out of the bunker and I'm going to hit the shot a bit further. So there's some wrist hinge in this, but it's still a square stance. And you can see just by adding in wrist hinge, I've trebled the distance that the ball can go. Now, if I need to get the ball to go higher and stop more quickly, I can open my stance. Now, those that you were paying attention from earlier will know there's a wrong and a right way of opening the stance. Simply pulling the left foot back is no answer. The ball is outside my right foot in real terms. So you'll know that I talk about a circle, a radius, and I go around that point. So, in I go round the circle to open my stance, and the blade's gone with me. I now lay the blade back to square. So I'm focusing on the line, and now I'm going to swing along the line of my feet, as simple as that. So here we go. And you can see on that shot that it pulled up more quick than the first shot I hit, and it went stiff. because it was loaded with spin. So, by laying the face square to target and playing across the blade, I'm actually getting more than 56 degrees of loft. I'm getting more like 60, 64 degrees of loft at the point that the sand contacts the club face. So again, if I wanted a long high bunker shot, something 3 or 4 times longer than what I've just shown you, round the circle, modify the blade square to target, but it will be open to swing. Here's a full pitching swing across the ball, and you can see I send the ball across the green and a huge amount of spin. So, hitting a good bunker shot is not about thumping the ground and great big heavy sounds of impact. It's quite a soft sound, the word splash. So I call them splash shots because that's what they sound like on a good one. So, keep it simple, learn to hit the line first, find out what you can do with a square swing. That'll cope with a lot of shots in golf. Then if you need more height and more spin, open the stance, but do so in a radial manner, not simply pulling your left foot back.